Stop. Before you speak. Before you react. Before you pass judgment. Tell me, do you truly know what you feel, or do you simply respond to whatever stirs inside you? Most men do not dwell in their emotions. They are carried by them. They don't observe. They don't distinguish. They take every impulse as a command. And then they wonder why the mind is weary, why the soul feels scattered, why each day weighs more than it should. We live in a time that teaches reaction, not reflection. We respond at once. We take sides. We defend, expose, project. But rarely do we inquire. So man becomes fast, but not clear. Busy, but not present. Observe closely. You say, "I'm angry." Pause. Are you aiming to strike, or are you merely pressing against what resists your will? The first is anger. The second is frustration. Confuse them, and you'll react when you ought to understand. You call it sadness, but do you know what exactly was lost? If you can name the absence, you can pass through it. If you can't, it's not sadness, it's melancholy. And melancholy does not ask for noise, it asks for silence. You say, "I feel anxious." But tell me, do you fear what is, or what your thoughts have built? Fear has a face. Anxiety is a swarm of images. If you fail to tell them apart, you'll be fighting what hasn't even happened yet. To use one word for many inner states is like calling every pain a disease. It doesn't clarify, it confuses. So I tell you, learn to recognize what moves within you, not to indulge it, not to pity yourself, but to stop being dragged. He who cannot tell one motion from another reacts the same way to all. He who can distinguish is free to choose his measure. I never ask that man be free from emotion. I ask that he not surrender the throne. And for that, you need an inner map. Not everything you feel comes from the same source. Some arise from thought, some from exhaustion, some from comparison, some from desire, some from loss. If you can't tell which is which, you'll keep fighting in the wrong place. And you'll ask me, but where do I begin? Here. When something stirs your soul, don't ask first, "What should I do?" Ask first, "What kind of motion is this?" Don't say, "I'm not well." Ask, "Am I trying to control what slips away? Am I anticipating what has not come? Am I clinging to what has already changed?" Don't rush to solve. Begin by naming. What you cannot name, you cannot govern. You only endure it. Now see what happens when the name is right. Anger loses its urgency. Anxiety loses its blur. Melancholy loses its isolation. Not because they vanish, but because they're no longer absolute. They become movements, not masters. This is the practice. Brief, silent, demanding. Each time the soul stirs, ask, "Where did this come from? Does it belong to me or to a judgment I've made?" Here begins the mastery of the self. The self-possessed man is not one who feels nothing. He is the one who sees. He sees the emotion arise. He gives it a name. He traces its root, and only then decides to follow it or let it pass. Remember this. If you ignore the terrain of your inner world, you'll wander blindly, even while you think you advance. But when you learn to recognize what stirs within, even disturbance becomes instructive. Not to comfort you, but to make you clear. And clarity, believe me, is already a form of freedom.